Uma is the coolest villain kid on the Isle. She's a strong leader with a big axe to grind. We know that she has some diabolical plans for Mal and her crew in D3, but what will happen to Uma after that? Will she become good or stay true to her evil roots? Watch until the end to find out.
That snooty little witch who grabbed everything she wanted and left me nothing.
Descendants 3. We've seen the costumes and incredible makeovers the VKs will be sporting come Descendants 3, but what about the story? From the teasers, the new trailer, and some leaked set pictures, we know that a lot is about to go down. It's pretty clear that Mal will be reunited in some way with her dad. Looking at the trailer, it's apparent that the VKs will be facing their most epic battle yet. From the set pics, we know that a seemingly good kid turns bad. Audrey is back, and she's decked out in a wicked costume and punk rock pink hair. Her head is tilted back in a nefarious fit of laughter. She's got Maleficent's staff, and from the look on Chad Charming's face, she is up to no good. In an interview, Dove Cameron teased that D3 ties up all the loose ends. However, she added that it's not necessarily the end of the series. While we don't know exactly what's in store for the characters in Descendants 3, we think there will be a lot of unexpected moments involving the conniving sea witch of the Isle, Uma. But in order to know where someone is going, we have to look at where they've been. Uma's origin. Uma's origin story is similar to the other villain kids. Uma has an evil parent who has tried to corrupt her from an early age. None of the villain kids got much love from their parents growing up. Ursula's lack of presence in Uma's life is apparent in the Descendants movies. In fact, we've only ever seen her tentacle slither out from behind a wall to try and slap Uma and her mates. Ursula tells Uma and her friends to shut their clams. Then, Ursula reminds Uma that the dishes aren't going to wash themselves. So it's safe to say that Uma grew up in a less than nurturing environment. It's clear that Uma is seeking power because she has felt powerless all of her life. She tells Ben that her mom doesn't care about her and that she can only depend on herself. That is so sad. We almost feel bad for her. Could all of Uma's despicable behavior be due to a lack of love from her mother? Still, as Mal, Evie, Carlos, and Jay discovered, once out from under the oppressive thumbs of their parents, you can always choose a different path. So, what if Uma actually gets off the Isle and away from her mother's control? Will she choose to be good? Watch until the end to find out. Final battle. There is a lot to unpack in the latest D3 trailer. It looks like Mal and her crew are back on the Isle, and they are facing some sort of armored army. We see a shot of Uma holding a glowing blue jewel, and we know that there is going to be an epic battle, but it's unclear who will be fighting. If you watch the trailer closely, you'll see that Uma, Harry, and Gill are wielding swords to face those same armored dudes from the beginning of the trailer. You know, the ones that Mal, Evie, Carlos, and Jay were fighting? So it's possible that Uma is teaming up with Mal and her crew to fight an even bigger enemy. Or maybe Uma possessed the whole crew and they are fighting the Knights of Auradon. It doesn't seem likely that you would find such fancy armor on the Isle, and if you look at their surroundings during the battle, it's clear that they are at Auradon Prep. So that means Uma made it off the Isle again and is on Auradon soil. So is she turning the other villain kids evil, or will she be the one to change? From this picture of Mal and Uma, it looks like they are becoming friends, but Evie doesn't look convinced that Uma has changed, so it looks like not everyone is fooled by Uma's change of heart. What's next for Uma? While we don't know exactly what to expect for Uma in D3, we've got some predictions about what will happen to her after the movie. Let's just say that our theories are very similar to other fan theories, but with a few important twists. Uma's love interest. Many fans predict that Uma will hook up with Harry Hook. They've got a smoking chemistry in D2, so it's an obvious connection. The guy practically worships her. There is so much love in his eyes when he is saying her name. Uma likes to boss Harry around, and Harry seems to like it. He is always down for whatever terrible plot she cooks up. He totally gets the pirate and sea life. We could see this working out for the two of them. One fan thinks that Uma and Harry will have twin daughters named Ursula or Unaya, and a son named Hartley. That is super specific. One fan posted that Ben seems to feel for Uma more than he ever did for Mal. During their talk on Uma's ship, he seems to genuinely care for her, and Uma is always upfront. She tells it like it is, which is different than Mal. A fan pointed out that Mal hid things from Ben and that Uma would never do that. In the trailer, we see that Ben turned into a beast, just like his father. So could he be turning evil as well? Maybe Uma is the only one who will accept Ben as his beastly self. So what if Ben decides to join forces with Uma and take over Auradon together with her? If they had kids, they could be hairy beasts with tentacles. Wow, that would be interesting to see. So let's say that after D3, Ben and Uma are in charge of Auradon. A Ben and Uma's ship would change the future of Auradon forever. However, fans don't know who to pick, Ben or Gill. Uma and Gill. It's hard to imagine Uma with anyone else but Gill, but hey, anything can happen, right? If Uma does indeed turn out to be good, this could pose a problem between her and Gill. After all, if he enjoys being a villain, why would he want to marry a hero? So for these two to work out, they would have to be on the same page. So let's pretend that Gill turns out to be a good guy as well. Uma and Mal could resolve their differences and become fast friends. After helping the VKs destroy their common enemy, Ben will pardon Uma and Gill, and they'll move to Auradon. We love Gill and Uma together, but some fans much prefer the Uma and Ben ship. So let's entertain this theory for the hell of it. Look. If Ben and Uma come together to rule Auradon, Uma will have to dress more like royalty. She'll need to give up the scallywag swag look for some finer gowns. But we think there will always be an element of the sea in Uma's look. Even if Uma is wearing the fanciest attire in Auradon, there will surely be some scuffed up pirate boots underneath her gown. Uma will give up her braid tiara for the gold and blue crown, but she will keep the blue mermaid hair. Staying true to her pirate roots will be important to her, so we imagine a lot of rings, necklaces, and jewelry on her at all times. She will love having all the treasure at her fingertips. We know that Uma has a flair for drama. Chances are, she'll change the entire look of the whole kingdom. It will have her signature blue with some darker gold and silver accents. Uma will be looking fierce, and so will the kingdom. Career prospects. So it's clear that Uma is resourceful. She has strong leadership qualities. All of these characteristics will come in handy if she rules Auradon as the future queen. Instead of a coronation, Uma will probably have a big pirate bash. We can just picture Harry and Gill swinging from the ropes, singing loudly and dancing on the tables. But after the excitement fades, she will have to make a new life with Ben. They will learn what it means to rule Auradon as king and queen. But will Uma be good or evil? If she is still evil, what will it mean for the fate of Auradon? Does she have Ben under another spell? If so, how long can it last? Or maybe she is just pretending to be good when really she plans to overthrow Auradon and turn it into a villain's playground. We've got more on that at the end of this video.
My mom doesn't care about me either. Well, not unless you need someone for the night shift.
Ursula. It's obvious that Uma does not have a great relationship with her mother, but if Uma takes over the Isle and Auradon, that could change. At that point, Ursula will probably do anything to stay in her favor. Ursula might become proud of Uma for doing what she could never do herself, but it's more likely that Ursula would become bitter and jealous if Uma and Ben get married. Ursula would be a difficult mother-in-law, but if they have kids, Ursula may change her tune and become more loving than she ever was with Uma. If Uma and Ursula work out their differences, will Uma decide to denounce her evil roots and become good? Or will Uma try to team up with her mother to destroy their enemies? That brings us to our final prediction on whether or not Uma will become good. Once evil, always evil. We know that statement has proven to be false for Mal, Evie, Jay, and Carlos, but will the same be true for Uma? The trailer shows that Uma goes back to Auradon in D3. When the other villain kids saw how great life could be in Auradon, they changed. They decided to give up their old evil ways and become good. If Uma gets away from the control of her mother and the bad influence of the Isle, maybe she'll want a different life too. Ben seems to be very good, but will he change change when he turns into a beast. We all know how surly his father became when he was cursed as a beast. So here is our prediction. Uma and Ben join forces to take over Auradon. Uma only pretended to be good so she could gain power and trick the other VKs. She gets together with Ben, who is struggling with his new beastly form. Uma convinces Ben to turn to the dark side. They take down the barrier to the Isle and rule over both lands. Uma and Ben run the original Descendant kids off the Isle. They turn Auradon Prep into a school of dark magic. Mal, Evie, Carlos, and Jay are banished. It's Uma's way of paying them back for keeping her locked on the Isle. She puts them on an even smaller island with a stronger barrier. They have to find a way to escape and take back Auradon. Ben, Uma, and their family live terribly ever after. So wicked. Who do you think Uma will end up with? Thanks for watching The Things. Did you like this theory video? If so, click the thumbs up button and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell to be the first to see our latest videos. See you next time!